Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Daniel Hood Roofing. When it comes to a roofer, you want to trust the people around you to tell you who's good at this stuff. You need neighbors who've put a roof on their house and can say, yeah, this is the guy I used, use him. Daniel Hood Roofing has more than 150 five-star reviews on Google. Their average review out of 5 is a 4.7. That's tremendous. Visit their website, check out dozens more testimonials from neighbors, people all around you who've used Daniel Hood Roofing and have been happy with Daniel Hood Roofing. You will be too. DanielHoodRoofing.com or call them today. Operators standing by. All right, well, let's take a look here. Glass half full or glass half empty? That's been our poll question basically for the day. On the good side, on the left, 49 points, 499 total yards, 5.9 yards per play, 287 rushing yards, balanced, 212 passing yards, 6 for 6 with 6 touchdowns in the red zone. That's pretty half full to me. Yeah. Over on the other side, well, they failed on the 4th and 1. Okay. 4 straight possessions they went yesterday. 4 straight possessions without scoring. That happened only 2 times last year. So in the 3 times it's happened in the last 14 games, 2 of them have been Joe Milton games. Okay, just throwing that out there. And then also, Tennessee punted 5 times. They had 44 points in the last 14 games. That's not a lot. But 17 of those have come in their last 3 games. That's 38% have come since Joe Milton took over. All right, so the glass half full, glass half empty. Jimmy, I just dump all that in your lap and ask for a response. Your thoughts on the offense. Can you see why some people are saying it's a bit worrisome? Or do you think, no, you're picking nits, folks, it's fine?
Yeah, I could say, look, if this was Jeremy Pruitt's offense and they're scoring 49 points, it would take them 4 games. So
correct.
You got 49 points. This offense was actually a little bit better than I thought it would be, and I won't say a little bit. I didn't expect them to be as effective consistently as they were a year ago. But here's where they were a little bit better, the run game. I didn't think without Cooper Mays and without having Jerome Carvin and Darnell Wright, they'd run for 287 yards. I didn't think they'd have 12 runs of at least 9 yards. I didn't think you'd have a running back average 9.6 yards a carry. So they ran it more effectively, which is why they were a little bit better on offense than I thought. I thought they might have a couple of lulls during the course of the game, which they did in that, as you pointed out. Now, one of those was a drop pass by Keaton. But,
that changes a lot of those other stats there if Keaton catches that.
But a little bit better because the run game was better than I thought.
Chuck.
Well, I think there was some talk after the game, guys, that there might have been a little bit of opening game jitters. And I also think that coconut shell field, I don't think the players actually had a real good footing.
All right, Dad. So it was the sun in the eyes.
It was the sun in the eyes.
The field wasn't good.
It was the coconut
and it was opening game
field.
jitters.
And I'm just saying what was said, that they just weren't quite in sync early. And there was some talk about that. But, I mean, that's kind of the way this offense is, right? When it gets in rhythm, man, it's like you think you can't stop it. But then if you have 3 straight passes that sell high. So, I mean, I think it's about like what we should have expected.
Heupel has raised the bar on this.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Hasn't he?
I'm doing a stat to see how many times you've gone 4 possessions without a score. That's the marker now. 4 possessions without a score. That's unreal. With Pruitt, you go 4 games without a score. That's stunning. That's stunning. Sterling, let me ask you. We haven't had a chance to hear from you on Joe Milton, and then also a little bit. They chanted his name when he got in there, Nico Iamaleava. So your thoughts on Milton, and then your thoughts on Nico.
Well, first of all, I want to say I thought Joe played an incredible game. You know, he had a couple of passes that weren't complete. Maybe people may say a little bit high, and he missed the target. But every quarterback does it. He didn't throw any interceptions. The pass to Jacob Warren was his 4th read. He went down the progression beautifully and delivered a strike. It just looked easy because the ball was pinpoint strike. Nico, there's a lot of expectation there because of the way he came to us in the new NIL space, things of that nature. But I thought he throws the ball with purpose also. And so I was excited to see what he did out there. You could tell the offense was brought back a little bit. But when I seen him make the check to the run game in order to get the touchdown, that's impressive to me. So I thought he did what was expected from a quarterback in his first game as a true freshman.
I think it's impressive that just from a physical standpoint, you can go from Joe Milton to Nico Iamaleava. They're 2 different specimens.
Yeah.
One is just a human cannon who looks like an Adonis. The other is one of those off-platform, throw it while I'm bending sideways. That's pretty impressive to have those two back-to-back at your quarterback at Tennessee, if that's the way it shakes out. But you mentioned Joe Milton didn't throw an interception yesterday. I had somebody send me this stat. Pretty good. He is now at 174 passes in his Tennessee career, no interceptions. He's now at 257 if you go back to his days at Michigan. He has not thrown an interception since a game against Wisconsin in 2020. Now, granted, a lot of that's been with him as a backup to Hendon Hooker, but still, anytime you go 250 passes without an interception, that's pretty good work.
That's awesome work.
And it also speaks to, again, this hypo offense. When you talk about he's only lost the turnover battle 10 times in 50-something games, that offense takes care of you, too. When we had Justin Hamilton last year, who's now with the Titans, he talked about it. I was always bragging on Hendon Hooker not throwing interceptions. And he thought it was impressive, but he said it's the offense, man. The offense simplifies it.
One thing that I've been impressed about Milton at the SEC Football Media Days in Nashville, at that point he had 12 touchdown passes in his Tennessee career with no interceptions.
Right.
And I said, does that speak to your decision making? He said, no, it speaks to the coaching I'm getting. I thought that was pretty strong.
Mature answer.
Yes.
And he was also, as the broadcast also pointed this out, as soon as Nico threw his touchdown and came back to the bench, there was Joe Milton working with him on the way that Hooker had worked with him.
Right.
It's
And the
impressive.
way that he worked with Hooker also,
Yeah.
because we had a preseason show last year that when everybody thought Joe might leave us, and I wanted to iterate how much of a better team we were, the fact that he stayed.
Yeah.
And that Hendon had a guy he can come to the side and get trustful, quality information from to disseminate on the field and get points for us.
And they say that relationship has been building since day one, since
Absolutely.
Nico first got here.
Absolutely.
It's just not like a new thing.
It's good. It's good. Bob nailed it early in the show. He's if you're looking for college kids that you want to pull for, he's become that guy.
Absolutely.
All right. When we come back, our VFLs are going to discuss Austin Peay. That's next. Is that a good warm-up for Florida? Okay, the chances of playing your starters deep into the game, not that great. At the same time, it's just a scrimmage. I mean, is there value in playing Austin Peay? Was that the smart game to schedule? Our VFLs will discuss that next, and then we're going to do a whole lot more. So stick around here on the Sports Source.